All right, I'm back. So I'm in the middle of making the vlog for the new vlog series Shift Happens, and they just called to let me know that I can come get the S4. So I was there waiting, and I got tired of waiting, so I walked home because it's only like 5-10 minutes away. So they say the car's ready, so I kind of figured it's kind of like the perfect opportunity to film a daily transmission. But I kind of want to talk about the Nintendo Switch first, because as you guys know, the daily transmission can be a little tangential, can be a little just whatever I'm feeling, and I have feelings about the Nintendo Switch. I do appreciate them upgrading the screen to 1080p, but I find it like kind of annoying that they removed the OLED model. That it feels like 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. Like, yeah, the resolution's higher, but I would rather have the OLED screen, truthfully. So that's slightly annoying that if you want an OLED screen on your Switch, you're gonna have to get a Switch 1. That just lots of questionable decisions that Nintendo makes just all the time. Like truthfully, like all of this would be resolved in my mind if they had just made the Switch 2. Oh, green BMW. You want to go by? I don't know what that was about. But anyway, kind of like getting back on topic, like when looking at the launch titles for the Switch, obviously the big one that everybody's excited about is Mario Kart. No surprise there, it's a fan favorite at parties. Everybody loves Mario Kart. It's no surprise there. But when you look at the video game market, it's kind of hard to find any other game series or racing game series that people are actually excited about when they come out. There hasn't been a fun and exciting video game series for a good while. Now, I know obviously there's the Need for Speed series, but it sounds like they're kind of taking a break. It's kind of annoying. How's it going? Now, like, it sounds like Need for Speed is kind of taking a break. I know they had that big reboot after 2015, and things kind of seemed promising. Things kind of seemed like we were going in the right direction. And then they followed that up with Payback, which kind of felt like if a casino simulator had cars in it. And then Need for Speed Heat came out, which I really enjoyed. And then Need for Speed Unbound. There were just some fundamental design flaws with that game. Like, I don't really understand why racing games suddenly sometimes feel the need to like separate online progress from like in-person or like single player experience. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I think the crazy thing is a lot of the problems with the racing genre have been solved before. I think for me, like what I would want to see out of a racing game kind of is a little bit like Forza Horizon. I think Forza Horizon has kind of like followed up on the Burnout formula. I know people really didn't like that 2012 Need for Speed Most Wanted, and I think the biggest issue with that game was the name. I think if they would have named it like Need for Speed Paradise or something, or Need for Speed Burnout or something like that, and like alluded to the fact that they know that this isn't a traditional Need for Speed game, but it's more of an arcadey, like, well, game like Burnout. All right, here's the plan. We're gonna use speed and power and just drop a gear and disappear.
Dodge Ram pickup truck, left defensive tackle, University of the State of Michigan Police Department.
That game would have been received completely differently. But the thing that I liked about that game and its predecessor, Burnout Paradise, was that when you hit autolog and when you hit the like online features, all it did was just take you and your friend's single player world and merge them. So like all of the same races are still available. Your friend can help you out and help you win the single player. Like, that's genius. Like, and we had that figured out way back almost over 15 years ago. So I think that's kind of the first thing. And then, like, most importantly, like, racing games need to bring back the fun factor. Like, don't get me wrong, Gran Turismo is fun, but other than Gran Turismo, if you're on the PlayStation platform, what other fun arcade racers are out there? The crew's done packed up and gone home. I know Test Drive Unlimited's supposed to be coming out. I haven't heard anything too overwhelming about that game. And And surprise, surprise, Forza is coming to the PlayStation. Forza is great. I guess my problem with Forza is that they have no competition. And since they don't have any competition, they're getting really stale. They're not evolving the formula. And honestly, like, I think the reason why all of this matters as like a car guy is because video games are like the easiest entry into the hobby. All of this car stuff is incredibly expensive, but like back when I was a kid, you could just grab Need for Speed Carbon or Need for Speed Most Wanted, and like that's how I learned about the E46 M3. I know video games aren't always taken seriously, but I think it's an important part of car culture, and I really wish we could start seeing more games that kind of had the vibe and feel of like the older Need for Speed games, but can kind of blend the more fun factor of like Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 and Forza Horizon. And like, I also kind of want to see like more variety in the racing scene. Like, I feel like a lot of the games are just very narratively bankrupt. I don't know how else to describe it. Just boring. Now, like, if you look at like the games from when I was a kid, even if a game didn't have a story, it usually had some like interesting gimmick to get you like hooked. Because like this is a members only video. You guys know that I put together that Mac Pro with Bazite on it and have been using it as a Steam machine. And since then I've been playing one of my favorite ever PS2 games, which is
Auto Mona Lisa,
which like is a beautiful game. Like, why don't we have more games like that? Just take the art style somewhere different, tell a different story. In terms of like gameplay, I think racing was probably at its best when Midnight Club was still around. Midnight Club was a handful in terms of its like handling model and whatnot. It's the same handling model that's in GTA 5, if that kind of helps you figure out what the cars handle like. But I think the big thing about it was that Midnight Club didn't take itself like overly serious. It knew it was an arcade racer. It had all types of power-ups and all types of silly stuff. And it really like put the pressure on EA to make sure that like Need for Speed really had to perform well. And then like when it comes to Need for Speed, I think the best thing about like the black box era, especially of Need for Speed, was that the games like took themselves way too seriously. It's kind of hilarious. And like, yeah, they did take themselves like super seriously, like in a really like cringy way. But like, it was kind of endearing because what it felt like was you were playing a like video game version of the Fast and Furious movies. And I feel like there's nothing really like that around anymore. I don't know. It just kind of feels frustrating to see like the level of market contraction that we've had in the video game industry. Even like thinking about like the one-off games that were like really good. I loved Need for Speed Pro Street. I know a lot of people didn't like that. Need for Speed Shift was also another cool concept. Grid, the first one was good. The rest of them questionable. But like the thing is, back then there was just way more innovation when it came to like developing and designing these racing games. And I know the question is always like, well, what happened? It's kind of simple. Racing games stopped making money, and that's really what the video game industry is about. And so I know like I kind of went on that tangent at the beginning talking about the Nintendo Switch, but it's kind of the same reason why we're not seeing the racing games that we want to see. Because at the end of the day, while the developers might want to make a game, what the publisher wants is they want a GTA, they want an Apex, you know, like they want a Mario Kart. They want to know that when they put the game out, it's going to make a ton of money. And at the moment, like the type of racing games that we liked to play cost a lot of money to develop, and you can't guarantee that they're going to get sales. You can't guarantee that people are going to buy it over GTA 5 or some other popular game. So minimal effort goes into it, and the effort that does go into it is into microtransactions or something to like extend the profitability of the game. And that's kind of what I've really seen as being the problem with the racing video game market. So I'm basically at the tire shop. I'm probably going to shut this down.